Venezuela isn't alone here. The US Treasury Department hitting Iran too now with new sanctions targeting its petrochemicals. Meanwhile, one US general says American troops face imminent threat from Iran, while another says Iran is taking a step back. So here to break down all that and what that means, former Pentagon official Mike Maloof. All right, Mike, let's start first with that breaking news about Turkey. So the U.S. says you can't have S-400 systems if you want our F-35. So now they're out of the program.
Well, the threat was there, and Turkey was warned about it. So Turkey's probably made a strategic determination that that's fine. We'll just go lean more toward the Russians and get jets that are very, very capable for their purposes. It doesn't have to be the state-of-the-art of the sixth generation, which is what the F-35 is supposed to be. They don't really need it.
That's at a gajillion dollars cost overrun, right?
Yeah, but Turkey was also involved in the production phase, so that may be out as well. So the company that produces F-35 has already been looking around for alternatives. The thing about it is that you can't kick Turkey out of NATO, but what you can do is begin to suspend sales of items such as this, cut off their accesses to intelligence. You see, the NATO Atlantic Alliance agreement does not have a provision for expelling.
Oh, okay.
So that's why Turkey may stay there.
Shoulder.
Yeah, basically give them a desk with no work to do.
Okay, I see. Moving along here, over to Iran, Persian Gulf Petrochemical Industries Company, it's a long name, and 39 of its subsidiaries are now named on this new list of sanctions from the Treasury Department. Why is the Trump administration doing this now?
Well, they're trying to put increasing pressure on Iran to get them to capitulate. It's very, very clear, and in order to come, and I don't know what they expect from the Iranians at this point. If they want them to talk, that's fine, but they've done so much damage already in terms of the Iranians questioning and not trusting what the motives might be of the Trump administration. You got to keep in mind it was the Trump administration that, after a lot of consternation of coming to the nuclear agreement, the Iranians were in compliance.
Right, yes.
It was the Trump administration that couldn't live up to its agreement. So you can see where the Iranians may be coming from at this point. Look, we don't trust you, because you can't keep agreements. And they can point to the JCPOA because administrations are supposed to continue on with agreements. And so now there is a background noise about people coming to Tehran and talking from Prime Minister Abe of Japan and also Mas out of the foreign minister out of Germany. They're all going to be descending upon Tehran. So there is some back channeling going on that's really important.
But now President Trump, on the one hand, is saying their economy's tanking, it's going down the tubes, kind of a ha-ha to Tehran. But then on the other side of his mouth, he's saying, but we really want to talk. Washington wants to talk with Tehran, and I think Tehran wants to talk to us. Well,
he's trying to leverage them. We saw it with in his dealings with North Korea. This is what's happening once again. But for the Iranians, it probably is going to matter very little at this point because everything has been basically sanctioned for them.
Right.
And it really helps the IRGC because they control that industry. And they never liked the nuclear agreement anyway because it would have infringed upon their businesses.
Yeah,
it would have infringed upon. So increasing sanctions actually is helping unify the country against the United States at this point. And the fact, too, that we're back in the Saudis on a myriad of things, a country that wants to destroy Tehran, you can understand then why Tehran is reluctant to come to any agreement because they lack the leverage, unlike North Korea that has a bomb.
Right.
They don't. And so what is their leverage? So what's purpose is served by just giving up everything that they claim that the Trump administration wants if they have no bargaining chips of their own at this point, particularly with the U.S. Floating a nuclear strike force in there and the Saudis wanting to destroy them.
And now, thank you for bringing that up. Good point, because we saw in John Huddy's report there, we've we've learned today that the Trump administration is planning on getting around Congress entirely by selling weapons, by just selling the capabilities. I mean, direct through Raytheon to teach them to make bombs themselves. I mean, what sort of implications do you have here, given that the Saudis, like you said, want to destroy Iran? Well,
it's meant to give them the capability to make their own bombs, but we've seen that the bombs that they received are being used for purposes of killing civilians in Yemen.
Yeah.
We would have no control over something like that should they be successful in making them. I mean, I question that, number one, their capabilities in that regard, because they've been fighting a war for 7 years and they can't seem to win it.
Right.
And secondly, they have all this other equipment already that they don't know what, they just store it because they don't know how to use it. So we lose our leverage over how things are going to be used by giving them the manufacturing capability. Now, what can happen is that the Trump administration can go ahead and approve this and rubber stamp approvals. The Congress then will have 30 days to object. That's when they can kick in and object to that by overriding the president.
And real quickly, the new UN investigation into the tanker sabotage in the UAE, they say they believe a state actor is to blame, but they fail to arrive at naming that state. So what is the point of this investigation?
Well, it tells me it may not necessarily be Iran, number one, but number two, they're trying to keep the pressure on and keep pointing the finger toward Iran without saying it was really Iran, because frankly, they don't know.
And they just don't want to look foolish, I guess.
Yeah, if it were Iran, they could have sunk those suckers. And frankly, if it was to send a warning or something like that, it could have been anybody. It could have been anybody.
No names yet.
I mean, you could have had the Saudis setting it up.
Yeah, no names yet. That's what I found very interesting.
Yeah.
As always, appreciate you letting us pick your brain there. Former Pentagon official Mike Maloof.
Pleasure.
Hey YouTube, thanks for checking out our channel. We hope you enjoyed the video. We have tons of content for you just like this. For more of RT America's one-of-a-kind news and analysis, be sure to subscribe and never stop questioning more.